Hello friends! So in this video I'm going to go through 4 different examples of how to factor using the greatest common factor. So I am just going to factor these 4 here. You can pause to read them over. I strongly recommend that once you kind of understand the basic idea that you try these on your own, or pause now and try all 4 of these on your own and then watch the explanation. Remember, math is not a spectator sport, so you'll get more out of it if you actually try. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So the whole idea behind the greatest common factor is that we're looking for the thing that will evenly divide all of your terms. So in this case, I have 3 terms. So I notice that all of the numbers are divisible by 5, so that will be the first part of my greatest common factor. And then I notice that I have x's in all of my terms, so then I just choose the smallest exponent. So x to the third is going to be the smallest exponent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out 5x to the third. Now, 5x to the third divided by itself will just be 1. And then when I divide out the rest, so 15 divided by 5 is 3, and then I subtract the exponents, so 7 minus 3 is 4, and then 25 divided by 5 is 5, and then 9 minus 3 is 6. So here is everything factored out. Okay, so here's the one thing I want to remind you of. If you started with 3 terms, then when you factor, you should still have 3 terms. One of the most common errors that I notice is that people will drop out this first term and write a 0 instead of a 1. So that doesn't make sense, right? You can prove that to yourself pretty quickly. If I do 7 divided by 7, that's going to equal 1 for sure, right? And so effectively what's happening here is I'm taking 5x cubed divided by 5x cubed. It's the same idea. It still equals 1. So you can kind of remember this idea as to why this is a 1 and not a 0. Okay. So I strongly recommend that you pause the video and try on your own if you are trying to get this. The worst that happens is you get it wrong and then you'll learn something, no problem. Okay, so let's jump into this. Okay, so what I first notice is I've got a 3, a 2, -2, and a 6. Nothing will evenly divide these numbers, so there is no number part of the GCF, which is totally fine. But I do have an x and a y in every single one of these terms. So what I'm going to look for then is the smallest exponent for each variable. So for x, the x is the x to the first, or just x, that's going to be the smallest, and then we have y. So I've got an x here and a y here, and those are the smallest exponents in this particular problem. So let's factor this out. So this becomes 3x y to the third. So notice that I took these 2 exponents and I subtracted off the exponents here. And then minus 2 y to the fourth. So the x's drop out. And then I just subtract 1 from the 5. And then finally, I'm left with plus 6x squared. And once again, the y's drop out in this case, so we're all good to go. Okay, so another one. Again, I strongly encourage you to pause here, give it a try, hit play when you're ready. Okay, so in this case, I've got 5, 10, and 6, so there's no number GCF, and then I notice x, y, y, so they don't even have all of the same variables in common, so this is just called prime. Can't be factored any further, so we'll just call it prime. Okay, I've got one more for you. Again, if you are trying to master this, I really think the best thing for yourself is to pause here, try it, and then hit play when you're ready. Okay, so let's see. So 3 definitely divides all of these numbers. So I'm going to bring out a 3. Then I notice I have x, y, x, and then xy cubed. So this is missing a y, so there's no y component, but all of these have an x, right? X, x, x. So the smallest x exponent is 2. So 3x squared will be the GCF. Since this one doesn't have a y, we can't include the y in the GCF. Okay, so let's do this. This becomes 3xy minus 2x to the third plus 4y cubed. So let me just double check. 3 divided by 3, and then I subtracted 2, yep. And that one, that one, x squareds will drop out, so I'm just left with that. Okay, so this is all good. Okay, and so those are 4 examples of the GCF. If you needed more, if you found that helpful, please consider hitting the like button. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.